Linux Mint 22.3 Zena, and Fedora 44 represent two distinct philosophies in the Linux world. One prioritizes rock-solid stability and a familiar, Windows-like experience for everyday users, while the other embraces the latest innovations and serves as a testing ground for technologies that often flow into enterprise distributions. Both are excellent choices, but they cater to different needs. Here's a clear, balanced comparison to help you decide which one might be right for your next YouTube video or your own setup.
Background and release details. Linux Mint 22.3 Zena was released in January 2026 as the final point release in the Mint 22 series. It is a long-term support (LTS) distribution, backed by security updates until April 2029. Mint builds on the Ubuntu 24.04.3 LTS base, providing a mature, well-tested foundation. It ships primarily with the Cinnamon desktop environment, version 6.6, though Mate and XFCE editions are also available for lighter hardware. Fedora 44 arrived more recently in late April 2026. Sponsored by Red Hat, Fedora follows a roughly 6-month release cycle and focuses on delivering cutting-edge open-source technologies. It is not an LTS release. Support typically lasts about 13 months, one release plus one. The flagship Workstation edition uses GNOME 50 by default, with a popular KDE Plasma 6.6 spin also available, along with many other desktop options.
Desktop environments and user experience. Linux Mint shines for users who want a desktop that feels immediately comfortable and requires minimal tweaking. Cinnamon 6.6 in Mint 22.3 brings a redesigned application menu with a customizable sidebar, improved keyboard and input handling, including better Wayland support, a refreshed on-screen keyboard, and enhancements to the Nemo file manager like the ability to pause file operations. New tools such as the upgraded System Information, formerly System Reports, and System Administration utilities make troubleshooting easier, while features like per-app notification indicators and an always-on nightlight option add polish. The overall feel is traditional yet refined. Start menu, taskbar, and system tray behave much like older Windows versions, making it approachable for beginners or those migrating from Windows.
Fedora 44, by contrast, offers a more modern, gesture-friendly experience. GNOME 50 emphasizes refinements in accessibility, color management, remote desktop, and introduces native parental controls for screen time and bedtimes under its digital well-being efforts. Many core apps, File Manager, Document Viewer, Calendar, have seen updates. The KDE Plasma 6.6 spin includes a new out-of-the-box first-run experience and the Plasma Login Manager for a smoother setup. Fedora feels more forward-looking, but may require adjustment if you're used to a classic layout. GNOME is Wayland only, with no X11 fallback in this release. Winner for beginners or Windows migrants. Linux Mint. Thanks to its familiar layout and out-of-the-box multimedia support, codecs are included by default.
Package management and software. Mint uses apt with the familiar apt or software manager and draws from Ubuntu's vast repositories plus its own additions. Software installation is straightforward and Flatpak support is well integrated. Because it's based on a stable LTS base, packages are more conservative but extremely reliable. Fedora uses DNF, now with DNF5 backend improvements, and RPM packages. It ships newer versions of development tools, runtimes, and libraries. Think GCC 16, Go 1.26, Ruby 4.0, and more. This makes it ideal for developers who want the latest tool chains without manual compilation. Fedora also includes better integration for technologies like NICs in some contexts. If you rely on proprietary software or specific hardware drivers, especially NVIDIA, Mint often feels easier due to its driver manager and multimedia packs. Fedora has improved in this area, but may still require a bit more manual configuration for some users.
Performance, hardware support, and stability. Both distributions perform well on modern hardware, but their strengths differ. Linux Mint 22.3 uses Linux kernel 6.14,
with hardware enablement options for newer drivers up to around 6.17, 6.18. It is notably lightweight and efficient, especially on older or mid-range machines. Cinnamon idles around 1 to 1.3 gigabytes RAM in many tests, making it suitable for systems with 4 gigabytes plus RAM. Stability is a hallmark. Fewer surprises during daily use, with a focus on refinement over rapid change. It handles everyday tasks, browsing, office work, and light creative work smoothly.
Fedora 44 runs the newer Linux kernel 6.19, delivering broader hardware support for the very latest CPUs, GPUs, and peripherals, including better AArch64/ARM handling. Features like the NTSYNC kernel module improve Wine/Proton gaming performance. GNOME or Plasma may feel slightly more resource-intensive than Cinnamon on low-end hardware, but optimizations keep it responsive on contemporary systems. As a leading-edge distro, it receives new features and security improvements faster. For newer Intel/AMD laptops, especially post-2024 hybrid CPUs, Fedora's fresher kernel can translate to better battery life and out-of-the-box compatibility. Mint remains excellent for older hardware or users who prioritize set-it-and-forget-it reliability.
Update philosophy and maintenance. Mint's point releases within the 22 series allow easy upgrades with the same base until 2029, minimizing disruption. Updates are curated for stability. Fedora encourages staying current by upgrading to each new major release every 6 months. This keeps your system on the bleeding edge, but requires more frequent attention. Both handle updates reliably, though Fedora's faster pace means you encounter newer bugs and fixes sooner. Who should choose which? Choose Linux Mint 22.3 if you want maximum stability and long-term support until 2029. A polished, familiar desktop with minimal configuration. Easy multimedia and driver setup for beginners or desktop users. Efficient performance on a wide range of hardware, including older machines. A just works experience for web browsing, office work, media consumption, and light productivity. Choose Fedora 44 if you want the latest software, kernel, and desktop innovations, strong developer tools, and a platform that previews future Red Hat technologies, excellent support for modern hardware and gaming improvements, a modern GNOME or highly customizable KDE workflow, to stay at the forefront of Linux development.
Thanks for watching, and I will see you in tomorrow's video. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for daily videos. Bye.